who's here with us today. We have Rob Koch, Global Head Telecom, Media and Entertainment at EPAM, as well as Jonathan Rioux, Managing Principal for AI Consulting. Today, they're going to be talking to you about transforming your consumer experiences, GenAI recommendation engine on AWS. During the session, EPAM will highlight the technology and capabilities of the solution, how it can be used to create a personalized experience for viewers that drives deeper engagement with your content catalog, and how to integrate it into your own systems. So I'll be passing around the mic for Q&A afterwards. We look forward to active participation and very much welcome questions. So without further ado.
Thanks, Kelly. So show of hands, how many of you are here to learn about AI-powered recommendation engine, and how many are here because there's happy hour and beer immediately preceding? Beer? You're here for the beer? Thought so. So I'll just give a few little overviews of EPAM. So we're a software engineering firm. We help our clients envision what products they should bring to market, and we have really deep technology teams who build them. And so we work for a lot of the companies in this building, in this hall, to help build their products and bring them to market. Today, we'll talk a little bit about an AI recommendation engine that we've started to create. So we're not a software product company. We don't launch our own products, but we see a lot of the needs in the market. And so we sometimes develop solution starters, proof of concepts that we use to illustrate how you can use technology to solve really pressing needs in the industry. And so that's what we'll go through today. Just a little bit, as now recognizing it's a bit of an eye chart, a little bit about EPAM. We're a premier services partner of AWS. We've been very close relationship with AWS and a partner for the past 12 years. We have really end-to-end capabilities within their cloud. And one of the things we're really proud of is this year we achieved the Telecom, Media and Entertainment competency. So within this vertical, we have a deep set of specialty skills that we can bring to the table for our clients. And one of the two things that we really do a lot within this space is application modernization and really cloud-native solutions. So that's part of what we'll show you today with this demo that we'll go through, is how we've built this cloud-native recommendation engine system and mixing both traditional AI and generative AI. And again, we spend a lot of time looking at not just how we help clients modernize and bring their applications to the cloud, but also how they can take advantage of new capabilities that are emerging. So obviously, you can't go through, I think, any conference these days without talking about AI and GenAI, and that's part of what we'll show, how we use that to enhance some of the capabilities of a recommendation platform. And within media and entertainment, we take those horizontal cloud capabilities and really apply them to vertical specific use cases. So some of the key things that we do for our clients in this space is help them figure out how to make more money from their platforms or how to retain subscribers. And we see this as a big opportunity for something like a recommendation engine. The biggest thing that keeps someone spending that money and paying for that subscription month after month is finding content that really resonates with them. And that's what we see this recommendation engine having the power to do. One little plug for a product that we've just launched in the marketplace and is really the core of what powers this recommendation engine is a platform that we call EPAM Dial. It's an abstraction layer that sits between your applications. It's for enterprises to be able to integrate many different LLMs into one platform so that they can experiment and play with different models to find out what works best for their business and brings the security and governance on top of it. And so the solution that we built today is based on Dial, and it uses Dial as the core part of the solution. All right, so let's get to enough of the plug about EPAM. Let's get to a little bit about what this recommendation engine is. So what should I watch? It's still a problem that we're all faced with all the time. Turn on the TV, unsure what to watch. There's been a lot of companies who've taken the steps towards building recommendation engines, and still there's a lot of opportunity to get the right thing in front of the right user. And there's a couple of reasons why. The massive amounts of content and continually amounts of content that are growing. If you talk to a lot of folks here today, they're even trying to redigitize archive content and put it in front of users. It's a very popular topic. it's only going to become even more challenging to sift your way through all of that content to find the right thing that you want to watch at a given point in time. An additional issue is that you look at all of these different services that are out there, they're siloed from one another. They know what I may watch within their platform. They may know what I watch on their device, but they don't have a holistic view of me as a user and an idea of who I am and what I may want to watch. The same content may exist on multiple services, and being able to find that right content for that user across services is one of the key opportunities that we think exists. And lastly, it's still a lot of fragmented data and analytics that are needed to be able to power this solution. So we've started to put together a platform that we think will potentially address some of those challenges. And so lastly, the answer to it is like, I think you would enjoy what? And so that was the answer that we wanted to try and develop a solution around. So we developed what's called a hybrid recommender. We use both traditional AI methodologies, data science models to be able to predict what someone may watch or want to watch based upon previous things they viewed, content similar to the content that you watch now. So those two kind of modes of finding things that you recommend. But then also, we want to expand that with a broader knowledge base. One of the interesting things that GenAI affords you, and large language models specifically, is that they have the whole context of the internet outside of an individual service or outside of something that you may have metadata for. So being able to tap into that power of broad knowledge to find things that really resonate for a user. And then lastly, instead of just Rob's picks or, top for you, we wanted to build in an aspect of making it conversational. Help me discuss and explore content that I think some of the users may want to watch and allow them to refine that over time. And then lastly, we have a few little user experience things that we think are pretty cool. And so we'll hop into a demo. We'll walk you through some of the nerdy technology that Jonathan will go through with you, and then we'll go from there.
Cool. I'm going to borrow.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
You want to switch?
Actually, no. Just because it's going to be easier after that if I need to type. One of the key things that motivated when we were looking to build our recommender was to, first of all, start from the type of inquiries that people are asking, not necessarily when they're interacting with one of the recommenders that's on the market, but when they're exchanging information about a movie that they've watched. We see this phenomenon as kind of like the bridge from the known to the unknown. So if I watch this movie, I like it, I want more of this, less of that. You're always kind of base this in terms of a comparison or an amalgamation of concept that you want to weave into what end up being a statement sentence. So this is a very highly simplified view, which there's a bunch of data that kind of accumulate, but the box that the user kind of interacts with is really just plain old sentence, and then you're going to have a list of recommendation associated to why that recommendation was done. The rest of the stuff, what's represented by the hat, user doesn't really care about that complexity. So we're putting a lot of effort to be able to make it as effortless, and also not to break kind of the experience as it goes. If we move, and we remove the box, this is what it looks like in the background. So first of all, we're leveraging the LLM itself. In that case, today we're going to be using Claude 3 Sonnet. We're looking at what would be the plain recommendation of the LLM, completely unabashed. So usually, given that context, we call this, the model can hallucinate, the model can give results that are, pretty weird. We actually encourage that kind of behavior because of what Rob was mentioning earlier. There's a ton of knowledge that's been industrialized all across the internet, reviews, ratings, comparison, and so on and so forth. We don't want to narrow the entire knowledge base just to a simple RAG where, your knowledge base is the entirety of the content that's going to be brought. That being said, we need to put controls. We need to put an overlay to be able to nuance those results and present something consequential. So we start with what you see at the top, the recommendation, that we get all of the information along with the metadata that comes from the results of the LLM. We overlay this with a formulaic search, which is basically we've taken some data, we've indexed it, basically extracted all of the relevant pieces of information. Combining this using a third pass of the large language model with selective prompting allows us to be able to combine the results into something that reads very conversational and is going to give you not only the what, but also the why this movie is recommended. So if you watch this movie, you liked it, you want something probably less violent, more funny, although funny is kind of an ambiguous feeling. What I find funny, Rob may not, and vice versa, but it gives kind of a point of call for you to be able to interact with. I've actually done all of this, so I can kind of like go and skip on those four. I actually didn't think this would work. So we're going to pause here. We're going to show right after. I'm going to bring you to this screen. Do you want me to go back?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, wonderful. So what I'm going to do here, and I'm going to explain what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to give my mic to Rob because I can't type and hold the mic at the same time. I'm going to ask like simple inquiry, and then there's a list that's going to be provided. The internet's not super strong. I prefetched the results right before the talk in case this doesn't work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with something that I know. So a movie that I watched recently, quite old school. I'm going to pick Shaun of the Dead, which is a funny comedy about a zombie apocalypse. And I'm going to ask for other recommendation. Same thing, a little bit less gore. See what I'm getting as a result. Well. All right, let's have a look. Works. So under the hood, we have a series of movies with their indexing. We're also providing some additional content. This is not something like the sentence are not copy and paste from the internet. They're generated just in time. I mean, as a matter of fact, if you run the same query, you're going to have slightly different results, both search results and the why that this is going to be provided. In that case, we have Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Groundhog Day, The Princess Bride, and now for something completely different, I Love Huckabees and Without a Clue. I don't know all of those movies, but like the one that I recognize seems to be hitting kind of the same genre. I can also switch a conversation. I'm going to go into something more suspenseful, same theme, zombie apocalypse and so on, less funny, more stressful. See what the results are going to yield. All right, not bad. What I think is interesting, and you're looking at this from a demo perspective, you're like, oh yeah, this feels very conversational, but bringing you back to like kind of the diagram that we've done, if you use a straight up LLM or a straight up recommender, you're going to get something that's very like, either nearest neighbor or just plain old recommendation of like more of the same. Having the ability to dissipate is what was the very big challenge that we had, and bringing this into like a recommendation that like your buddy would give you or something that like reads more conversational was like a lot of I don't want to use the word magic. I think this is being overused, but like kind of a more seamless experience. That's it. I'm going to move back to, that's it for the demo.
I need the clicker, I think. So, on top of that, we actually took this platform and as part of another solution that we have on top of Dial, we built a solution with MetaHumans. And so we see as an even future opportunity to be able to build this kind of real peer, conversational, interactive experience, like you are talking with a friend, to find shows you may like. And so we recorded a little video of me talking with Vivian.
What should I watch tonight?
Based on the series you've already watched, I recommend checking out American Gods. It's a fantasy drama that follows a recently released ex-convict who becomes entangled in a battle between old and new gods. If you enjoyed the themes of mythology and fantastical elements in Outlander, you might find American Gods intriguing as well.
I love The Wire. My friend said there was something like it on Lionsgate Plus. What would he be talking about?
Your friend might be referring to the series Power. While it may not be exactly like The Wire, Power is a crime drama that delves into the dangerous underworld of drug trafficking in New York City. It explores the complex dynamics of power, loyalty, and betrayal, much like The Wire. Give it a try if you enjoy gritty crime dramas with intricate storylines.
I'm really looking to find something completely different or new than anything I've watched. What might you recommend?
If you're looking for something completely different and new, I recommend checking out Counterpart. It's a thrilling sci-fi espionage series that follows a low-level UN bureaucrat who discovers a gateway to a parallel dimension. As he navigates this shadow world of intrigue and danger, he must determine if he can trust his near-identical counterpart in the other dimension. Counterpart offers a unique blend of suspense, mystery, and thought-provoking storytelling that might be a refreshing change for you.
So we think there's some really interesting things that are going to come and that happen within user experiences based upon these types of recommendation services. So you saw in this brief video, like it took all of the content that I've watched, things that I've liked, and then using the same power of that recommendation engine was able to generate the types of responses in this kind of conversational, interactive way. So yeah, that was our talk. Happy to answer any questions that anyone might have.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Rob and Jonathan. Questions from the audience? Don't be shy.
Yes.
Hi. Are you able to return results that are not movies or TV shows?
So yes, we actually could return results that are not movies and TV shows. The corpus of content for this demo was fed with that movies and TV shows.
Right, but could you incorporate any sort of underlying data sets like books or radio shows or podcasts or whatever? Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
What was your approach to the RAG vectorization of the metadata? Is it sort of like each piece of content gets its own vector, or like how did you architect ingesting the metadata into something that you could then query with generative AI? Because it's not always just throw a giant bucket of stuff into LangChain and see what it makes of it. You have to there's an art and science to it.
My mic is not working. So actually you're making a good point. We actually have numerous embeddings or vectors for each piece of content. And we basically focus, we randomize some of the concept or the sentences that have been brought to be able to target, which vector is going to be relevant. There's a lot of topics that are being brought forward. One of the thing, if you just take plain old, actually I can show it what this looks like. This is an example for Kill Bill. If you just take the information that is there and you vectorize it in one fell swoop, the results are going to be indistinguishable. Like you're just going to get a lot of low level relevance because like in the space that you're having, everything looks kind of like muddied and the same. So we actually chunk very aggressively, randomize some of the information, and have multiple vectors that then once you have the search result, we just dedupe them to be able to return what we have. We also combine this on the synopsis for like full text search, vocabulary words that are more rare, to be able to kind of overhaul like, some of the weaknesses that you're going to have with a RAG where, you can have an over focus on, certain words depending on the embeddings that you use.
Excellent. Thank you, Jonathan. Other questions from the audience?
Need any recommendations what to watch tonight?
Yeah. Recommendations on what to watch tonight. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Is this available as an API for integration with other apps or?
So Dial, the platform, basically what you've seen there, this is open source. You can actually go on GitHub. It won't give you that recommender. If you're more interested, our booth is just there. We can talk about how we can make this real for you. But this is just one of the numerous example. Dial at the core makes it very easy for you to be able to upload your data, experiment with LLM, refine your prompts, compare different models. We migrated from Claude 2 to Claude 3 over the past 2 weeks and column A, column B, compared everything, look, which one was the best, adjust the prompt, was all very easy. So, just there.
Great questions. Thanks all. Any last questions for Rob or Jonathan? All right. Excellent. Big round of applause then, and I'm sure they'll be sticking around. EPAM's booth right over there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.